Hey guys, I apologize if I sound a little drowsy or something. My head is killing me. Battler's time returned to the guest house at 3 a.m. Then the rest of you split up about 30 minutes later, right? Yes, that's right. Drowsiness was finally starting to catch up to us. We decided to take a short rest and then start up again. To smoke out the murder of the first Twilight, Erica closely questioned everyone involved to check their alibis and evidence. To confirm these, she went around the mansion with them, and when needed, she took several trips out to the guest house through all the rain. Her vitality was impressive. Though she was an uninvited guest, everyone had long since stopped feeling anything strange about the way she played the detective. It seems Erica is also steadily building her foundation. It's useless. Whether alibis exist or not, she can't deny our existence. Kanto escaped through the window, and no, now one with the missive of Rokenjima. She most certainly won't be able to capture or deny him. When all said and done, perhaps you could say he's escaped to the underside of the chessboard. In that case, maybe it won't be appropriate to say he's been stowed away. Come to think of it, about those corpses from the first Twilight, they've been stowed away too, right? Yes, they've been put away in my darkness, which lies between this world and the next. And that detective wannabe won't be able to find them. Of course she won't. It'll definitely be impossible for a human. Want to check? Just in case. And we also need to examine what Lady Birkenstone's goals will be from now on. If you know your enemy, you need to fear not the outcome of 100 battles. If you know the truth, you can win 100 battles without fighting. My. Gap opened up a large hole in the sky and had to swallow all of them up. She invited Bito and Ron up the gap between the worlds, which she had hidden the corpses. That place was nowhere in this world and existed at no time of this world. In other words, it was truly, literally was a place not of this world. In this place, questions such as where is this and what time is it have no meaning. Every single place led to here, but no place could be reached from here. Furthermore, all times connected to this place, but no time could be passed from here. In short, this place was just what they said it was, the other side of the chessboard. No, perhaps it would be most appropriate to call this the captured pile where pieces that had let the game go. Then through the pitch black world, a glow like a faint spotlight shone, and 5 corpses came into the view. The 5 pitiful corpses, with their necks sliced open, had been arranged neatly. Their eyelids were shut and their hands joined. Apparently even Gap had respect for the dead. Oh my, there are 5 sacrifices for the first Twilight in this game, not 6. Oh, was you, teacher? I was worried about where you'd gone. The game has already reached the first Twilight, and as you see, the first victims have appeared. So it's finally time. I'm getting all excited. I see that the you that is here looks to be in high spirits. I'm pleased. I've got high spirits and a captivating body. Added in my charming disposition, you've got my only strong points. For some reason, Virgilia praised Beato for being in high spirits. Though Beato was taken aback at such grinning like words coming out of Virgilia's mouth all of a sudden, she pounded her chest and answered. Virgilia had been absent often during this game. She might even have been absent when Battler saw the epitaph, as well as during the uproar that followed. Apparently, she'd been absent for so many critical points that she didn't really understand much about what had happened so far in this game. Right now, 5 corpses have appeared. As you can see, their necks have been slit. George, Jessica, Maria, Rosa, Genji, all 5 of them had their necks sliced open by something sharp. Their wound opened wider than their mouths, and made it feel as though they no longer need their mouths to breathe. I see. So anyone looking at George, Jessica, Maria, Rosa, or Genji's corpses could confirm at a glance that they are dead. Great. Well, there's no point in me holding out against you. That's right, at a glance anyone could confirm that these corpses are dead, so it's absolutely impossible that they are just plain dead. Why did Leah use the red? Who knows? However, she is always thinking of what's best for my lady. She probably has some idea in mind that will benefit her. but they had hid the corpse's ears specifically so that no one would be able to use their red. However, Ronald was right. Virgilia always thought of Beatrice first. A slightly displeased expression rose to Gap's face as she saw that the corpses she'd gone to such lengths to hide now been confirmed dead and red. However, in the end, she remembered that she was only a guest and shrugged. Why did you have Gap hide the corpses? As to that, since the epitaph has already been solved, this game of mine is different from usual. I know how serving and protecting Natsuhi is my goal. How would concealing our corpses protect Natsuhi? We more or less figured out what our opponent's moves will be. This is probably a trap meant to corner Natsuhi. Most likely they'll have sort through alibis for the first twilight and find them for everyone except her. Last night, Natsuhi Sama was the first to leave the family conference and then rested alone in her room. Unfortunately, she has no alibi whatsoever until the next morning. We've already made Kenzo's existence impossible to deny. However, there is a single move remaining to our enemy that might cancel that out. I see. So they'll corner Natsuhi and make her confess that Kenzo doesn't exist. Indeed, the enemy is probably after something like that. By watching the movements of the pieces involved with the family conference, we quickly realized that Natsuhi was isolated. Notice that the trap of theirs encountered with this move. The corpses disappeared. Everyone has alibis and no one exists who could have moved them. Not only does this support the claim that which exists, it also throws doubt on whether they're actually corpses in the first place, just barely allowing Natsuhi to escape being a suspect. In other words, it's possible for Natsuhi Sama to claim that the sacrifices of the first twilight were only playing dead. Even though many people confirm their deaths without fail in the cousin room. Mere confirmation of facts as they even approach the red truth. No matter how much everyone claims to have truly witnessed their deaths, the red truth doesn't exist in the human world. Because the corpses don't exist, so you could discount their words as a mistake, some sort of trick, or she could say that they were all lying. And it's possible for her to do this over and over to buy time for herself. In a human world which lacks the red truth, perpetual check is a valid move. An endless argument with both sides denying the other's claims. Not pretty. True. However, beauty is something to be sought only after victory. When knows without victory seeking, it is not but poison. Well, they do say might makes right. Well, ha ha ha. And even if I don't think it's beautiful, those Voyager witches will probably like it and say it isn't boring. I see. I managed to grasp the flow of this game. I imagine it'll be quite nasty. We're fully aware of that, and we already know that Natsuhi's probably about to be lured into yet another trap. A trap? Indeed, someone Lady Delta created who calls himself a man from 19 years ago has already threatened Natsuhi. She was ordered to go into a closet in a certain guest room in a few minutes at 1 p.m. and hide there. Cross was taken hostage, so Natsuhi can't resist. I see. How relentless. Can you protect her? Of course. After all, Natsuhi is the culprit. No matter how much she's treated as the culprit, both the truth and phantoms are on our side. There's no way we'll lose. Cackle, cackle, cackle. Okay, guys, I'm going to take a few minute break here. Okay. Natsuhi threw her cup of tea to the ground in protest, expressing the anger that flowed throughout her entire body. What do you mean by that? Are you saying you suspected me? You told me you left before anyone else returned to your room and didn't leave that room until morning. However, if you cannot prove that, doesn't count as an alibi. Prove? How could I possibly do that? It doesn't matter how. Objectively speaking, it'll all be fine as long as you can prove it was impossible for you to commit the crime. Everyone else is cooperating. I want you to stop being so hostile and give me your alibi along with proof. That's right. Almost the whole night is a blank space in time for Natsuhi Nissan. She might have left the conference saying she wanted to rest before us and then gone to the guest house and attacked George and the others. Please don't be such a fool. Why would I kill George Gunn on top of that my own daughter, Jessica? Calm down. We're all equally suspicious. It's sad, but we all have to prove our innocence. Yeah, we've been thinking frantically about how to prove our alibis for last night so that we could clear up the suspicion amongst us. I know you can't like being suspected, Natsui-san. If it frustrates you, then you shouldn't your first priority be searching for someone to prove your own innocence. The relatives spoke as though they're all under equal suspicion. but the mood about the place didn't feel so peaceful. Edgar was still in the middle of confirming all of the facts, but except for Natsuhi, he was uncooperative when it came to providing alibis. Everyone else had an alibi that was reasonably credible. Only Natsuhi, who claimed that being suspected was an insult, was uncooperative with Erika, and her position began to grow more and more perilous. This parlor was no longer a place of comfort for Natsuhi, and the sound of the cup smashing had made that decisive. That's ridiculous. Why must I be suspected when I've lost my daughter? You're maliciously trying to make me look like the culprit just because I went to bed early last night. I cannot stand this humiliation any further. Oh, so what are you going to do about it? Show us some kind of alibi that proves your innocence. As if you could. Give me George back, murderer. Stop it, even. That's what you said. You're probably a bit tired, too. Same goes for us, of course. Why don't we take it easy for now? Seriously, we're a little too high-strung. And Natsuhi, where are you going? Searching for alibis or the culprit who would be truly laughable at this point. When the typhoon passes and the police come, everything will be exposed to the light of day. There's no reason whatsoever for us to play at being detectives. Am I wrong, Erika-san? Generally speaking, you're right. However, I do have the authority to do this. Who gave her that authority? No one asked. It was an authority given by the words of power from a higher world, so the pieces weren't even allowed to doubt it. I'm leaving. I have no intention of going along with your pointless questioning before the police come. If you suspect me, feel free to do so. I'm counting on the police to clear away that suspicion. It may be a bit late to mention this, but again, I guess this happens every single time anyway. As usual, the phone couldn't connect to the police. Natsuhi said the police would be coming, but that wasn't exactly true. Strictly speaking, the boat would come tomorrow, and they would use the radio on that boat to contact the police. It won't sound like I'll let everyone live that long anyway. Natsuhi thought it's dangerous to go alone. Perhaps it would be better if we all stayed here. Why I would not let her? This might make for some very good proof. If Natsuhi needs to get killed in our room, that'd be excellent proof of her innocence. Quit it, Eniki. It's probably best if we all get a bit of rest. Our bodies won't last until tomorrow. If we're going to take a break, we still must let our guards down, got it? We might not make it through the night, much less tomorrow. And Natsuhi, if you're returning to your room, make sure you lock it tight. Close all windows and shutters too, and stay safe. I don't want to suspect anyone, and more than that, I don't want there to be any more victims. Thank you, Battler-kun. Then I'll return to my room. You're in charge now. I know this is a horrible situation, but see to it that our guests have everything they need. Yes, madam, I shall do so. With everyone watching her, Natsuhi left the parlor. From their faces, she could tell that they were expecting a classic mystery pattern, that the first person to quarrel and leave the circle would become the next victim. Natsuhi couldn't disobey because of the Thragon's Cross, who'd been taken hostage. Very soon it would be promised that time, 1 o'clock. She was to hide for an hour in the closet of a specific guest room. It was easy to suspect that this bizarre order was a trap to select her as the next sacrifice. She thought of various ways to resist, but all methods would be useless against the culprit, who had a hostage and was observing her from close by. So Natsuhi could do nothing but obediently follow that order, and then claim that she'd been forced to do this for her husband's safety. When the promised time had drawn near, Natsuhi had intentionally acted annoyed and smashed a teacup on the ground to give an excuse for slipping out of the parlor. At any rate, no matter how cowardly a chap it may be, I cannot disobey now. I am the one who carries the burden of the one-winged eagle, now that my husband's cross has been captured. I must protect it, even if I have to crawl through the mud. Of course, I am prepared to do so. I am Ushiramiya Natsuhi, even if I am not permitted to bear the one-winged eagle on my clothes. Father gave me permission to bear it in my heart. I managed to get this far by plausibly dashing away in a rage. So far, everything has gone well. Before my eyes was the doorknob of the specified guest room. However, I wonder if it's locked. The servants are normally ordered to lock any unused rooms. What will I do if it's locked? I dashed away from the others, pretending I was returning to my room. Popping back and asking the servant to unlock this guest room would be obviously suspicious. If I can't, I'd like to get this eerie hide and seek over with without anyone noticing. in that phone call from the one who claimed to be the man from 19 years ago. He said I would win if no one found out, but lose if anyone did find out. He said my husband would be released whether I won or lost, but as the person with the hostage ticket against me, I'd rather not lose. I don't like it at all, but I have to go along with this game. When I softly gripped the doorknob, I could feel that it was unlocked. Did Shannon or Kumasawa forget to lock it after cleaning, or did that man unlock it in advance? That man couldn't be waiting for me in this room, could he? And then all that about hide and seek might have been a mere excuse. I kept the fact that I was coming here sacred, and all the others think I'm resting in my room. If I were to be killed in this situation, it might create a new baffling murder case like an extension of the one that occurred this morning. That I might actually turn out for the better. Perhaps this is a good chance to confront the culprit directly. Natsuki has some experience with using a naginata, though only casually. Unlike Eva, she couldn't brag about being able to hold off any single ruffian indefinitely. She had no realistic chance of challenging a man with malicious intent and winning. She readied herself and slowly opened the door. She couldn't just stand around in the corridor and risk being seen by someone. The atmosphere inside the guest room was frigid, and she could sense no trace of anyone waiting impatiently for her. All she could hear were the unsettling sounds of the wind and rain. At first, she seemed to prove that there was no one here to threaten her, but soon it only made an uneasy feeling rise up beside her even more strongly than before. The closet was just off to the side of anyone entering the room. Lined up inside was a set of hangers for coats. This closet, which had nothing hanging in it, was large enough for even an adult to hide in. She softly opened the closet. Of course, there was nothing inside. She would have to hide quietly here for an hour. The room had a wood floor, but something like a carpet had been laid in the closet. It seemed sitting down wouldn't be a problem. She had been sure someone would be waiting for her in this room, or that a strange letter would be lying in the closet. In the worst case, she might even imagine that her husband's corpse might be in there. However, none of these things she imagined turned out to be true. The only thing there was a cold guest room and a lifeless closet that suddenly urged her to enter. And he told me to hide in here for an hour. He's mocking me. Natsuki shrugged, turned around, and then locked and chained the guest door room. This way, no one will be able to get into this room. In other words, no one will be able to find me for the next hour. I win with a stupid game of hide and seek. This surely must be a total victory in the hide and seek game against that mystery man. However, it was such an easy victory it made her feel uneasy. Normally, this would be against the rules of hide and seek. Even if she had won, she wouldn't displease the culprit, and now everyone thought she had returned to her room. If they found a room with a chain set, that would make it impossible to close the room to them. Erica had dashed throughout that mansion to confirm alibis or something. If she noticed that the chain set was on in this room, there'd probably been an uproar that would end in them cutting the chain and searching the room. If that happened, Natsuki could be found hiding in the closet right away. It would be easy to honestly confess as to why she'd been hiding. However, that man had insisted that she not reveal that. If she did talk, she might endanger her husband. Thinking of that way, setting the chain or even the lock might be a bad idea. That's right. This room was unlocked when I came here. If I would suddenly became locked, it's inconceivable that I might catch someone's attention. It's better if I don't do anything unnecessary. That man only told me to hide. So in the end, I had no choice but to do what he says. I hate doing it, but I cannot disobey. I undid those two precious locks, went to the dimly lit closet with the smell of old wood, and managed to close the door from the inside. Pitch black. It reminded me of when I was young, when I used to hide somewhere and then surprise my mother. But that peaceful recollection wasn't enough to kill out my anxiety. It's really pitch black. From here, I won't even be able to check my watch to see if an hour has passed. I'll probably need to open the door a crack every once in a while, and not enough light for my watch. From now, I'll crouch down here. I thought about clutching my knees, but it hurt my back when I tried. I'm not as young as I used to be, even though I was made to sit on the floor, holding my knees in every PE class as a grade teacher or grade schooler. I now have to struggle just to sit down. Just crouching down here for an hour will probably hurt a lot. I can't believe I'll be hiding in the darkness for a full hour with nothing to hear except the wind and rain. Ironically, Natsuki had made Jessica do the exact same thing in the past. She had done it with Jessica when Jessica was a little girl to scold her for her persistent bad habits and teach her a lesson. She thought that making Jessica stay put in darkness was brought a desire to reflect on her mistakes, and that this way she could understand what she had done wrong. It almost feels like I'm being made to do the same thing. If that's the true purpose of this hide and seek. Oh, naive at me. This must be my naivety, the hope that if their goal is to make me repent, nothing will happen here during this hour. Uncertainty and the fear of that man's shadow are not what I need right now. Will someone suddenly come to this room, open this closet, and do something horrible to me now that I've come here in total secrecy as promised? That's what I should be worrying about. The culprit and one of his accomplices is very close by. If they weren't, they wouldn't be able to serve me so thoroughly. I don't want to think, but it's highly likely that the culprit bought off one of the servants. The culprit had hid an airy card with the autumn written on it in my room. My personal room is always locked. That trick wouldn't have been possible without a key. Instead of believing that they obtained the key when the servants weren't looking, it's much more realistic to assume that one of the servants lent the culprit a hand. But how do they know that autumn is my favorite season? How unsettling. The thought that this mystery man might be peeking into my heart sent goosebumps running across my whole body. It's true that I like autumn, but I never said it out loud. I don't think anyone's ever heard me say it. If I asked my husband what my favorite season is, he'd probably be stumped for an answer. No, just once I told it to a single person. That's right. Shannon. On autumn day long ago, I had been to be in a good mood, and I mentioned that autumn was my favorite of the 4 seasons. So the culprit or more of their accomplices has to be Shannon. The fact that I like autumn can only be known by Shannon. In that case, this is clear proof that Shannon is involved. That card with autumn on it is proof. Outrageous, even though she served the family for 10 years. I trembled and shook with rage. Then came to one say that anger is the fastest sedative to cure fear and uncertainty. It's easy to tell that most fearful humans from within a crowd. They're always the first to get angry. I remember him telling me that. So I realized that anger was a sign that I was actually frightened, and I tried my best to remain calm. However, this is a vital clue for turning things around. Shannon may not be reliable as a servant, but if she's an accomplice used by that mystery man, this might actually be convenient. A weak-willed girl, if I threaten her, she'll probably spill the name of the mastermind in an instant. I'll secretly tell the police about this. It might become a big clue towards arresting the culprit. That card was probably meant to shock me and get me to do what he says, but he's actually dug his own grave. I never told anyone except Shannon that I like autumn. This is unshakable proof that she's working with the culprit. Though I once thought this time in the closet would crush me with uncertainty and uneasiness, it's actually giving me the start of a counterattack. If I wasn't given this time in darkness, I probably wouldn't have noticed this. I'm almost grateful to the culprit for making up this foolish game. My mood brightened. I still can't guarantee that my husband is safe, but I'll definitely give him back and force the culprit to face judgment. I clenched my fist tightly, and it's further strengthened my resolve to avoid losing this fight at any cost. Rattle. At that time, I heard a sudden sound of someone trying to force the locked door open, and my heart leapt. Well, it was unlocked. The voice was Hideyoshi's. I heard that quiet voice as though he was talking to himself, coming from what was probably the hallway. Apparently, he thought it was locked to try to unlock it, but it ended up unlocking the door instead. It ended up locking and the unlocked door. Okay, whatever. Once again, there was a sound of lock turning, and now the door opened with a faint sound. Why is Hideyoshi's son in this room? Footsteps that sounded like his came in, and there was a sound of him close the locking door behind him. Then came what seemed to be the sound of him setting the chain. Don't tell me Hideyoshi's son is the mastermind, or else an accomplice. He's planning to do something to me in this room. It would take some time to unlock the door from the side, much less remove the chain. If Hideyoshi's son doesn't intend to let me escape from here, he won't give me enough time to undo the chain. In that case, if he opens the closet door and he sees me crouching here pathetically, just what kind of fearsome words will he say? I don't want to be found. I don't want to be found. I beg you, pass right on by the closet door. Please keep going to the center of the room. My head was so filled with a throbbing sound that it felt like it was about to explode, and I almost missed hearing his nosy footsteps. So when I heard a clunky sound coming from the center of the room, I finally realized that he passed by the closet and was deep relieved. Just in case, in this weather, it's pretty much night out there anyway. As he whispered, he did something that made a clunking sound. He was probably closing the shutters on the windows, just in case I tried to escape out the window. No, that can't be it. That's right. When I left the parlor, everyone was talking about possibly taking a break. After all, several murders had occurred, and the weather's bad. There would be nothing abnormal if someone chose to rest in a guest room here instead of returning to the If someone chose to rest in a guest room here instead of returning to the guest house. Okay. In that case, locking up and closing the shutters to guarantee safety is the proper course of action to take. When he finished closing the shutters, there was a thunk as though he flopped over on the bed. It was surprising how much of the situation could be grasped just by the sound. What's going on here? Did that man from 19 years ago plan all that stuff to put me in the same room as Hideyoshi-san? No, that probably isn't true. He probably planned on me hiding here, but Hideyoshi-san coming to take a rest here must have been outside the scope of his plan. Thinking about it that way, having him in the room might be odd, but it also might guarantee my own safety. Unlike his wife, Hideyoshi-san is the kind of person I can talk to. If Iba-san comes, things will probably get complicated. Maybe I should slip out of his closet now while he's still alone. Reveal everything to just him and ask for help. But if I do that, my husband might get killed. Until my husband is released, I shouldn't do anything rash. Should I go and talk or hide in here? Money for my headache and biting my lower lip, I resisted the urge to crawl out of here. Even if I talk with Hideyoshi-san, I don't know where my husband is being held. I'm sure the traitor who's observing me is nearby. Just talking to him won't solve everything. I suspect that Shannon is the traitor, but that's no proof that Goda and the others aren't. It's all useless. I guess leaving here and confess it is too dangerous after all. Eventually I heard a strange sobbing voice. Whose voice was it? I strained my ears trying to hear that strange voice, and was shocked to discover that it was Hideyoshi weeping. Hideyoshi, who had lost his only son, was finally able to shed tears or cry. Now that he was all alone like this, thinking that he needed to support Eva in her distress, he acted as though he was alone, standing firm. However, he has a good right to cry as anyone. And now that he's found a place where no one can see his tears, he finally let himself do it. And I've lost my daughter. I haven't seen her corpse with my own eyes, so I still doesn't really feel like she's dead. But if the only one who carried her off was the culprit, and he has some repulsive motive for doing it, just thinking about it makes me feel as though my chest will tear itself apart. The reason I'm hiding in here now is that I'm thinking more about my still living husband than my dead daughter. But if I were given the chance, I'd be wailing at the top of my lungs too. However, I still can't let myself do that. It isn't because the man from 19 years ago told me to hide. It's because I'm the final head of the Hushimir family. It's been completely overshadowed by the recent uproar, but last night Battlegun found the hidden gold and even gained the head's ring from that mysterious envelope. At the very end, when it's all over, I probably won't be able to prevent his ascension as the head. And when everything regarding the distribution of the inheritance is revealed, the Ushimi family honor and glory passed down from father will plummet to the earth. So I am the final head. Battlegun will probably inherit the remaining wealth of the Ushimi family. However, its history and honor will all end with my generation. Therefore, I'm the final head. I must not cry, not yet. Until I get my husband back and avenge my daughter, I will not be allowed to shed tears. And in the closet, I suddenly hung my head as listened to Hideyoshi-san's sobs. Who are you? Huh? My heart leapt. I heard a sound that must have been Hideyoshi-san, who had probably been lying to prostrate on the bed, bounding to his feet. Did he notice me? How did you get in here? Oh, what's that? Wait a sec. What? No. He was clearly in a struggle with someone. Who on earth could it be? No, it doesn't matter who it is. It probably is the culprit, and they're probably trying to take Hideyoshi-san's life. Shouldn't I jump out and help him? If I can't help him, shouldn't I call for help? No, but if I do something like that, I'll be questioned about why I was hiding here. However, if Hideyoshi-san gets killed like this, now is the time to be saying that. At this rate, he'll certainly be killed. I'll jump out of here and help him right now. If I do that, even if I can save Hideyoshi-san, I might be abandoning my husband's life. Hideyoshi-san's life and my husband's life. How simple would it be to try and weigh those against each other? At the time, there was a loud sound as the door opened and the chain was pulled tight. Someone was trying to open the door despite the chain being set. Dear, it's me. Could you just open up? Eva, go on, dear. What's happening, dear? Open up. Ugh. Open up, dear. Someone. She opened and closed the door over and over again with all her might, but of course she couldn't snap the chain. Eva-san called for help in a loud voice and raced through the hallway. By this time, the room had settled back into silence, and that earlier sense of Hideyoshi being in a noisy struggle had disappeared completely. What's going on here? So right now I'm in the same room as the murderer who killed Hideyoshi-san. In that case, the culprit should try to escape in the room as soon as possible, so why are they hiding in here? I haven't heard anything, nothing that might have been the culprit who detected Hideyoshi-san running away. No matter how much I strain my ears, I can't sense anyone in the room. In fact, it's so silent that it makes it what happened just a second ago feel like an illusion. In other words, does this mean that the culprit is hiding his breath, sitting just outside this closet, waiting for me to stumble out? I don't even know what I should do, what I should be scared of anymore. If only I could just melt away into the darkness of this closet. I mustn't remain in this room any longer. I get the feeling I have more to worry about than just my personal safety. But what should I do? I don't even know if it's a good idea to leave this closet. Eventually, the clamor of the many footsteps approach. I'll hold my breath again and melt into the darkness of the closet. Okay, guys, I'm gonna take a few minute break here. Okay, I'm back. I'm gonna dash, bring everyone with her. Dakota was skipping some wire cutters to cut the chain with. After trying to open the door again and confirming that the chain was still set, she yelled through the crack in the door. Dear, we're going to open this up. Cut it right now. Yes, go to start the large wire cutter, which looked like it cut off a whole finger. Could slice up a whole finger to the crack of the door and easily severed the chain. Dear, as soon as it was severed, Eva pushed Goda aside and dashed in. The others tried to follow her, but they bumped into Eva, who had fallen to her knees and moaning. So even though they couldn't tell much of what was going inside the room, they could tell by Eva's moans that they were too late. What the hell? Dear, Dr. Nanjo, look at my husband quickly. I'll do it right now. You've got to be kidding me. It's only been about 10 minutes since Uncle Hideyoshi went out saying he wanted to rest. Is there anyone in the bathroom? No, there's no one here. What could have happened? Dear. I'm afraid to say there's nothing I can do. Not just hang his head sadly. It was only natural because anyone, even if they weren't a doctor, would think at a glance. Hideyoshi was lying face down on the bed and stuck deep into his back, while something like a blade with an intricate demonic design on it. When Eva pulled it out with all her might, they could tell it wasn't a blade, but some kind of stake, and its sharp tip had penetrated nearly 15 centimeters in. It had probably dug it deep into his lungs. If it had been stuck in any harder, the tip might have pierced all the way through the surface of his chest. Didn't I tell you to wait for me? Why did you go in alone? Stupid. Whoa. The culprit probably waited for us to get careless and split up. That bastard, so he still hasn't had enough blood. So he really is hiding somewhere in this mansion and coming after us. But there is something strange here. The doors and windows to this room are completely sealed. That's right. The shutters are all shut and the door chain was shut until a second ago. Huh? But that's crazy. In that case, how did the culprit attack Hideyoshi-san in this room? Maybe they threw this stake through the crack in the door. Hideyoshi-san's bed is in the total blind spot from this crack. You couldn't even kill him with a gun. This is really strange. It's a closed-room murder. A closed-room murder. It's a bit too early to be sure about that. Maybe he removed the ceiling in the bathroom and escaped to the space above it. Or maybe he could close the shutters from the outside. The shutters, they didn't budge an inch from the outside. I just went and checked. Erica. It's no wonder everything felt so quiet and relaxed. At some point, Erica had split from the group. Just now, she had finally arrived and poked her face from the hallway. When she had heard that a crime had occurred in this room, she had watched everyone rush towards the room, but circled around to the outer wall herself, and she had gone all by herself to check that the shutter was down on the window, that you couldn't do anything with it from the outside, and there was nothing out of the ordinary. Is the inside of the room just like usual? There's no need to say it like that. My deepest condolences. So, what's the situation inside the room? The chain was set on the door, so we cut it and entered. All the windows have the shutters down, and they're locked tight from the inside. What are they bickering about in there? Eva was arguing with Nanjo about something. Apparently, she wanted to carry the corpse to the parlor. Nanjo tried to calm her, saying that they should leave the crime scene as untouched as possible until the police came. What happened to the other corpses? The culprit carried them off somewhere, right? It may be that the culprit isn't satisfied with just killing, but intends to do something to do with the corpses. So no way we're leaving my husband all alone here. Eva does have a point. After all, the victims before now have all been carried away after they were shown their terrible wounds. Erica-chan, You probably like to preserve the crime scene, but could you just let this one slide? Do whatever you want. I'm all interested in is the fact that a closed room has appeared that's much more serious than cancel sentence study. I have no interest in corpses, so do as you please. Balor's expression was clearly unhappy, but she ignored him completely. Feel free to carry that corpse out any time, or am I in the way? Erica backed away from the door, opened the path. She showed no trace of any sadness for the dead. Her eyes simply blazed with the thoughts of this closed-room murder that had appeared. In any event, the greatest detective had given her permission. Eva and the others wrapped Hideyoshi up in the sheets, and Goda and Rudolph carried him out. The sheets were quickly stained red. It was so painful to see that Shannon and Kumasawa stripped the blanket off the bed to further cover the corpse. Hey, out of the way. Yes, I am out of the way. Let's go to the parlor. Yes. Dear, ah. Listen up, everyone. From now on, we'll always live as a group. You must not let yourself be isolated. When the culprit attacked Genji, he probably got a master key. It's clear that even locking it will no longer make you safe. But even the chain was set. How did they do it? It's impossible. The shutters of the chain were firmly set. Even with the master key, it'd be impossible to force your way into that room. It must have been Beatrice-sama doing. No. There's no way Beatrice-sama did this. The epitaph has been solved, so there shouldn't be any more reason to hold the ceremony. Of course we can't understand it. This would be impossible for anyone except a witch. Impossible for anyone except a witch, you say? Good. That's a nice ring to it. Erica-chan, are you listening? We decided to stick together from now on. First, we're carrying Hideyoshi-san's corpse to the parlor. Can you hold off playing detective until we get there? Once she heard the words playing detective, Erica grimaced visibly. Then everyone stumbled out and she took a single step into a now empty guest room. She looked around and burned at the scene to her eyes. Erica claimed to have a photographic memory. If that was true, those few seconds were more than enough for her. Later on, she could sit back in the teapot while pursuing the photograph of the scene inside her memory, playing the part of an armchair detective. Then suddenly her eyes stopped on the closet off to the side, a closet for hanging overcoats. If it was large enough to fit a coat on a hanger, a person should be able to hide it in it. Slowly, Erica stretched her hand towards the closet. Erica's shoulder was grabbed roughly from behind. Let's go, Mr. Detective. Didn't you ever learn how to stick together on school field trips? Well, whenever I go traveling, someone always dies. Hey, what do you think you're doing, brats? Come on quickly. Rudolph told him to hurry. After clicking her tongue gland at the closet, Erica followed Butler back to the parlor for the time being. The sound of their footsteps finally faded. That time of terror when I feared that even the dripping of the cold sweat covering my cheeks might not be noticed finally ended. On my hand, okay guys, I need to get a quick breather real quick, just for a minute. Okay, sorry about that guys, but I know I'm just getting really stuffy and crap. I need to blow my nose up this video. With my hand I still couldn't stop trembling. I slowly opened the closet door and dashed onto the hallway. It's okay, no one's found me, so it's a good thing they didn't lock the door. If they had, I won't be able to lock it behind me after I left, and they found that suspicious. Anyway, I should leave this place. Then I'll return to my room and pretend I was sleeping the whole time. Guess if I don't get back soon, a new murder has occurred. They'll probably try to tell me about it, and they'll probably do it shortly after they carry Hidoshi's corpse back to the parlor. I can get around a phone call by saying I was asleep and didn't notice. But I think I'm knocking directly, that'll be bad. I have to get back quickly before they try to force their way in. I don't know whether I should run on noise like hide my footsteps and walk a secret or walk around normally as though nothing has happened. At the very least, it'll be bad if I bump into them on their way back to the parlor. Anyway, I'll hit my room at a quick pace without being noticed by anyone. I pass through the hallway to the lobby. If I get up the big staircase in the lobby, my room is just a little bit, and that's what he's done. Hey, just as she was about to go up the large staircase, that's when you heard Erica call up to her. Anyone so surprised that she visibly jumped. I was just about to go tell you the news. Thank you very much. Did something happen? Just found Masui-san. You were climbing up the stairs, right? Your room is upstairs, isn't it? Erica coolly pointed out the strange fact. Natsuhi cursed her bad luck. I couldn't sleep, so I was going to return to the parlor, but I wasn't sure whether I locked my room or not, so I was about to head back. I'm a warrior, so this sort of thing happens a lot. Don't worry about it. Yeah, that sort of thing does happen a lot. It's a lot common quirk among people who aren't confident in their memory. Normally, since Erica was clearly making fun of her Natsuhi, it might have looked annoyed. However, right now, Natsuhi was extremely related to her Erica, and made this sort of thing happen a lot. Why are you by yourself, Erica's son? I thought I'd investigate that guest room. Guest room? Yep. This situation's gotten pretty serious, hasn't it? Investigating the scene of a crime is my right. Erica's probably gazed peered deep into Natsuhi's eyes. She could tell. Erica already suspected Natsuhi, judging by the subtle nuance. In other words, she must be planning to make me slip up and reveal that I know about the crime with Hideyoshi, when I supposedly haven't been told about it yet. Natsuhi played dumb, and that's what had happened again. Is something wrong? No, it's nothing. This is just a repeat of the first crime, isn't it? What do you mean? Again, you in your room, and again, you can't prove your alibi, can you? I don't know what you mean. To turn around, I'll keep you that I was in my room. Ah, that. Then I'll take this one step at a time. Please worry about your locker room, your lock later. I accidentally, but vitally important to discuss with everyone. I'll come back after I check my lock. Please get it started without me. Hideyoshi-san has been killed. We'll talk about that. What? She had planned on using that need to check her lock as an excuse to escape to her own room, after which she would claim to have a sudden headache and stay in her bed the rest of the time. However, now that she had been informed of Hideyoshi's murder, it would be clearly suspicious to postpone that escape to her room. She was already under suspicion just because she'd been seen heading up the stairs to the second floor. She couldn't afford to do anything else suspicious. Natsuhi gave up and headed for the parlor as Erica had urged her to do. When she opened the door to the parlor, Eva's sobs poured out, and everyone glanced at Natsuhi with grave faces. Those gazes almost made it look as though they suspected Natsuhi. It was so painfully apparent to Natsuhi this must have been what the man was after. It was a trap to create a baffling closed-room mystery and try to frame her for it. However, she couldn't have resisted. She couldn't sacrifice her husband's life. And while she was in the closet, that's all I did. I definitely haven't committed murder. I might be extremely suspicious, but I'm not the culprit. And most importantly, I'm not under suspicion yet. I'll tell the police everything. I'll have to endure until then. I'm sure one of the servants is a traitor, even in a situation like this. If I mention my husband being held hostage, the culprit will hear and might use it as an excuse to kill him. Natsuhi-san has just come back. Now that we're all here, I have something very important to discuss with you all. Something very important? Yes, it's very important. I'd like to lay out everything in front of you all, starting with the first crime. Then please do that just the others. I think we should leave that sort of thing to the police. I'm not interested. Since I have it all laid out, it's a very important thing to discuss. Either you nor anyone else has the right to refuse. Well, Erica used her detectives authority to proclaim the start of an assembly. None of the pieces could disobey, praying that she wouldn't become the topic of conversation. Natsuhi reluctantly sat on the sofa as she'd been urged to. Oh, sorry. Could you close that door for me? Yes. Shutting again and closed the door. Since it's been decided a while ago to lock all doors and windows carefully, Ken unlocked it. That lock, which existed to protect the safety of this room, felt like a lock on a prison cell to Natsuhi, and one that would hold her in a place to prevent any escape. Natsuhi still hadn't noticed. Though Erica had gone into the corridor to check the crime scene in Hideyoshi's room, her goal had changed. In other words, from Erica's point of view, the son of the lock was truly checkmate. Erica said that suddenly. Burkisol said that suddenly. Oh, fast. Well, so you figured out the culprit already? We barely got into any of the crimes, right? You could have just let me kill a few more and gathered a few clues yourself. Okay, let them together all the pieces. Now we're getting to the most interesting part. Let's both enjoy it to the fullest. Well, let's see. Why don't you show me what you've got? Hee hee hee. To think that she laid down the challenge without waiting for the game set at 24 o'clock. What a hasty person, that Lady Birkenstow. It's quite an early challenge. I think that she's already managed to obtain a winning hand at this stage. Normally you can win just by claiming that the witch exists, but with Asui and Kenzo, we've got a lot need to protect this time. Sounds like this fight will be a pain. That's no problem at all. I won't let them do as they please with my golden island any longer. Bring it on, Lady Burkerstall, Frudo, Erica. In the Golden Land, the endless rain continued to fall. Battler was nowhere to be seen. It would very soon reach the time the Battler had joined in on the fifth game, and control of the pieces would be passed on to Battler. In other words, he would only be officially added to the game now in this final stage. Where Birkenstow had pinpointed the culprit, so he had left the arbor a short while ago. Now the only ones in sight were Virgilia, who continued to knit silently, and Beato, who just sat there blankly and missed the spill of her black tea, not even putting the cup to her lips. Virgilia stopped knitting for a moment and looked out across the vast golden rose garden that extended as far as the eye could see. I believe it's safe to say that at least in the game over who the culprit is, Battler has gained such strength that he will never surrender again. By the fourth game, you have sent them all your messages. In other words, at this time, Battler Gun is capable of realizing the truth at any moment. However, he is still soft in some ways, so even if the games continue like this 100 times, he won't solve it for all eternity. He'll just stand and wander forever like someone trying to find the blue bird. And as you, Beatrice, it's the same for you. Even if this game continues 100 more times, you'll never reach the answer you seek for all eternity. Burkerstow will abuse this game without a doubt. Linda Delta will also turn this game about with the utmost arrogance. At a glance, that may be humiliating and appear to you and Battler as though the game has been stolen from you. However, that is something the two of you need right now, to end Battler's naive softness, to enjoy your hesitation. And that's why you call the two of them here, to end the eternal torture between you. These two will probably bring either victory or defeat, but no matter how it goes, that result has already been filled with compassion. You should understand that as well by now. Virgilia faced Beato, whom she had come to adore as a daughter, with cold eyes that she must have not shown often. It was like a gaze of a mother who, instead of scolding, suddenly urges her child to recognize their mistakes. Beatrice, how long do you intend to stay there, neither alive nor dead, not rising up to heaven, nor falling into hell, there on the peak of Mount Purgatory? I am Virgilia. I have gutted him through the purgatory and brought him to you at his peak, and you are Beatrice. You must choose whether to take his hand and rise up to heaven, or grab him and fall into hell. Did you know that the discord called Purgatory, which lies in the gap between heaven and hell, is sometimes more torturous than even hell itself? On the gates of hell, it is written that you must abandon all hope. A human without hope can accept their suffering and give up. However, the residents of Purgatory have hope, and a hope of possibly reaching heaven, a hope that cannot be abandoned. And this tortures them. Even in the depths of hell, no greater torture device exists than a single pain known as hope. Fly from the cliffs of Purgatory. Take away with you the regrets caused by your fleeting, fragile, foolish hope, and open up Pandora's box. Are you scared of opening the box? Beato was silent, but with a single tear, she nodded silently. It is a cat in the box, alive or dead. Time has now come to check. If the cat is dead, quickly hold a funeral for it and have it raised up to heaven. If the cat is alive, quickly feed it and give it all your affection. Whether it is alive or dead, your cat box eternally desecrates the cat. The key to the box that you were afraid to open has been brought to you by those two. Beatrice, it's time for you to die now, I hope. I hope that your heart is stopped by the hand of the person you desire. Okay guys, well this is going to be the end of the video here. It is exactly midnight. The video is, it's almost an hour long, almost. So, I decided, to take a little bit shorter like this, an hour, a little bit before an hour on videos during the weekdays. But it's like a Monday, and if I feel good on Monday, I'll do a long video since I'm off Tuesdays. Or, if it's Friday or Saturday, so, since I'm off Saturday and Sunday, I'll make a really long video. But the weekdays, I'll be a little bit shorter. So, yeah. I'm going to end the video here. You know, if it lets me pause the game. I mean, it's nice to see these golden butterflies, but you know, I really would like to save. Wow, this looks nice. But we'll find out what this is next time. See you guys then.